Good evening. Welcome to Willowbrook Apiary. Happy bees, healthy honey. Bringing you into the apiary tonight to check either hive 6A or 2E. Last inspection, one of these two hives had multiple eggs in the bottom of each cell, which can be an indicator for a working layer hive, or, and this is what I think has happened, a virgin queen who's just figuring out the laying process. I'm hoping the virgin queen, if it's a working layer hive, we'll shoot a whole nother video on how to deal with that. But I'm hoping to go back in and find that whichever of these two hives it was is just a virgin queen, and checking to see whether or not I can add a honey super to the top of the brood chamber, allowing them to begin their winter storage. It is fall, almost. We have the goldenrod bloom and the red bamboo, or Japanese knotweed, bloom right upon us, or just starting. So a lot of nectar will be coming in. We want to make sure they've got enough room to put it all. So let's go ahead, make sure our smoker didn't go out. Every inspection starts with a dead smoker, right? Upgraded to a little propane torch as a much easier way of getting these lit quickly and hopefully keeping them lit. Got a new smoker with us. This one has a different canister around it, a different top. The one thing it's missing that my old smoker had that I like is a hook off the front to hang it on things, but it has a taller canister. So hopefully we can put more material in there and keep this thing lit longer. So we've already smoked the hives a little bit. Just a gentle puff at the entrance to let them know we're coming in. Lots of bees at the entrance, always a good sign. I always say listen to the girls, the bees. They'll tell you what they can handle and what they can't. Some days they let me go in just like I am. Other days they ask me to put on the bee veil. Last night was one of those other days. I had one come right in and sting me on the lip. It blew all up. Got real fat. Looked kind of like I had gotten Botox. Gave everybody a good laugh, except for me and the bee. So I do not need to go deep into either of these hives. I only need to see that there's a lot of bees on them and that they're working those frames in the top box. And I need to see whether there is one egg at the bottom of each cell or multiple eggs. Multiple eggs at this point will probably mean a working layer. Little smoke to push them down. Learned a tip from an Armenian gentleman who bought some honey off me last night. He was telling me that they put coffee grounds on a tin foil plate and light that on fire, and the bees really don't like the smell of the coffee, and it drives them away from where you're trying to work really quickly. So I might be doing a video on that in the near future. We'll see. This frame is not very heavy, so I'm expecting eggs on it. A bunch of nectar on my side.
Nectar and pollen on this side.
Nectar and pollen on the other side. Not a bad thing. pretty light for a honey frame though. So let's check another. They might be putting all of their eggs and brood down in the lower box, in which case I will need to go in another box. And as with everything in beekeeping, it will also mean it's going to take longer than I told my wife. Alright, this one has eggs. And it's looking like 1 egg per frame, per cell. 1 egg per frame would be terrible. 1 egg per cell. The bees are putting the nectar all helter-skelter every which way in amongst the brood. Not efficient. But that could also mean that they need more space to put their nectar, which is what we're going to give them tonight. We're going to try to give them another box of frames. I don't have as many waxed as I would like. All right. This right here is what we're looking for. Capped brood here and here, and that brood is worker brood, which tells me this hive is indeed queen right. We've seen everything we need to in this hive. Just going to slide things back in place. A couple days ago, I left my Fitbit on, and a bee got agitated, and under the edge of the Fitbit where I couldn't brush it off and where it couldn't escape. So it did the next best thing in its mind. It stung me. I just had another one checking out the Fitbit, not enjoying their interest of late in my Fitbit. All right. I do not have another queen excluder, so here's to hoping they do not put the queen up here, and instead that they fill this up with honey. Also going to need to go pull some more honey foundation frames for them. This one's a little bit wonky. I pulled it out of another frame, another hive, because they had built a piece of comb off the side, really wacky. And just recently, I've had a bunch of people reaching out asking for cut comb honey, and I've been selling them the whole frame of comb in one shot. So I'm gonna put a couple of these empty frames in between some plastic foundation that I've laid out some fresh neck pollen.
Wax.
Yeah, thank you, son.
Both of
some
us
fresh
today.
wax on. I'm gonna need a couple more frames in there. This hive has gone all wonky on that frame. Not giving them that to work with because they'll just follow the bad model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lord, we ask that the bees draw these foundations out correctly, these frames out, and that they don't make wonky comb. It is not fun when you're trying to pull wonky honey frames. That took what? 5 minutes? And
10 minutes.
10 minutes on this one?
Yep.
10 minutes in and out. Inspection 1, queen right and done.
Man, these things do not feel good.
Did it? Did one get you?
Yep.
And in 10 minutes of inattention to the smoker, guess what else? Not only are we in and out of the frame, the hive, our smoker is in and out of smoke. Did you get the stinger out?
Yes. Why is there comb in there?
Wax smokes a lot.
Really? Did not know that. Bee in the hair. How long does it take to light a fire?
I have a good ball of baler twine in here, but it's a little wet and it doesn't want to light or stay lit. I would also say it's not a great idea to do this right on top of the hive. As the bees fly over, you can singe their wings. Do as I say, not as I do.
Do you want me to get the frames now?
So we are going to get into this hive, which looks like they're doing all honey in these top.
Tell them about the bananas.
Girls have good hair days and bad hair days. Beekeepers have good lighting the smoker days and bad lighting the smoker days. Today is a bad lighting the smoker day, and hopefully I don't need it smoker day.
Goodness.
And they've got some good propolis in here. A good propolis sheath can be really beneficial to keeping a hive healthy. This hive is a hive that I did a newspaper combine on.
And it doesn't look so
You can look in
good.
right through the top. You can see a little bit of leftover newspaper here. This one I was struggling to get it queen right.
That is they built wax in between the frames.
They're making all nectar and honey on this one. That's fine. Another sting?
No.
They just keep landing on you?
That and there's a lot of tiny native pollinators get flying and landing on me, and it does not feel good.
This frame is pretty heavy. All nectar on this side.
Honey on this side.
Nectar and honey on this side. It's what you like to see going into winter.
Goodness.
And they are in the winter preparation stages. Praying for a really strong flow this autumn. All right. That's what I want to see. Capped worker brood, larva,
Both of them are
eggs.
then.
I do not need to see anything else in this hive.
Seeing what you see.
I have capped worker brood, which means I do not have a working layer.
You might want
And
to
I
fix
have-
the comb though.
Capped worker brood. I already said that. Nectar and honey going in. We got wonky comb my son's telling me I need to fix. These are the fun parts of beekeeping. You reach your hand in to retrieve wonky comb. There's many different reasons for wonkiness to happen, but
It's a real treat when they have wonky comb, but it's filled with honey.
yeah, because what happens when it's wonky and filled with honey and we break it off? You want to use words and tell them what happens?
We eat it.
Yeah, and here's another piece.
It's
It started on this frame here, and then they built across and attached it to this frame.
It's not fun when that happens.
No, it makes it really hard
Yep.
to pull a frame.
When
So
it
we are
pulls
going
two
to correct
frames out.
some housekeeping issues in here.
Man, that's a big issue. Look at that.
They're starting the frame, and then they're starting a second piece, and then rather than connecting it, they're building it out away from
I was hoping you
the
would pull
second
it
frame.
from.
So we're just going to peel that right off.
Sadly, there's no honey in it. I'm kind of starting to think you pulled off the wrong side. Because that one's not attached. A little wonky.
All they lose if I take this other piece that he's talking about is nectar. So after checking to make sure the queen's not there, we're just going to take this and we're going to gently ask the queens
2 stings.
to rebuild. And gently try to correct
And it
the
says
form
gently.
of this frame more towards the middle, hoping that they continue that trend. And one way of doing that is to reverse the direction of the frame so that they can't attach to the same spot again. Beekeepers, stings are just a fact of life, something that happens, that's annoying,
Very annoying.
temporary discomfort, long-term gains, hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right, something else you may notice is some of these frames have the number 19 written on them. That tells me this foundation was drawn in the year 2019. And why is that important? Because some are suggesting that over time, the darker the comb gets, the more likely to attract pests, small hive beetles and wax moths. We have enough issues with those.
I didn't know that.
So I figure if I put a date on it when I put the frame in and the foundation has been drawn, I now know
More candle wax.
when I need to pull these frames out. 3 to 4 years they're suggesting. So who knows, we'll give it a try. Another partial box here of frames, ready and on hand. Ladies, please fill this with correctly drawn honey, and only correctly drawn honey.
You never know when old frames will be useful.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Into the middle, lining them up, looking down at the frames below so everything's even. And there is a yellow jacket checking this hive out.
You won't want to do
Naughty.
that. You won't want to do that. Imagine you just put a
Alright.
fresh...
There is one more hive that we need to check,
Another one?
and that is Noah's. We need to check and see. What did we put in there a couple days ago?
Queen.
Where'd we get that queen?
Better be.
Yeah, we bought a northern raised mutt queen and put her in the hive. We watched to see that they were being gentle and not attacking the hive. Attacking of the hive would indicate that maybe they have, walk with me, that maybe they have a working layer in there. and that they're not going to accept the queen, but they were very gentle and accepting of the queen, so she should be out by now.
Shout out to Better Bee.
Shout out to Better Bee. Better Bee in Greenwich, New York, where I get all my equipment and used to get all my bees before I decided local feral bees are better quality. Not saying their bees are not good quality, they're just coming from Georgia.
And they don't know our winters.
What does a Georgia queen know about a New York winter?
Exactly.
My experience, not enough. We'll set this smoker down over here to go out later. Within moments.
Yep, I think it's out right now. Every time something lands on me now, I get scared because I've been stung twice already.
That's natural.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and bring it right here and zoom in.
Nice.
And go for a straight down. There is no candy plug there. So let's pull this cage out and see where the queen is.
But I think there is a bee in it. This nuke started out from a deep frame to a medium, and then slowly transitioned to a medium frame as we had to put resources in to keep it going.
Yep. We've been working at this about 5 or 6 weeks now, trying to get this hive queen right.
Lots of propolis. I just realized I'm standing in front of the entrance.
There is one worker bee, no queen. I like to keep these. They can be reused down the road. Hopefully I'll get to a point where I'm selling queens. And then I will be able to put them back in there, create my own sugar plug. A skill I've yet to learn, but am interested in. And then I can start selling you queens from feral survivor stock of treatment free, meaning no chemicals sprayed in the hive ever.
Is that seriously honey?
Yep.
Never thought I'd see it in my hive.
Capped honey, a nectar frame. This hive is particularly cautious. They require slow work because they've been without a queen for so long. They're a little bit more defensive, but as you might have noticed, we're still in here without a veil, without gloves or long sleeves, or in some cases long pant legs. And these bees are drawing foundation, drawing honeycomb.
And measuring how much space they have in between
Yep.
the top of the frame to the bottom.
It's called festooning.
Yeah.
Yep. So right now I'm just checking for the queen who has a green dot on her back because we're in an odd year. Certain numbers get different colors.
The thing is,
this year's color, years ending in 9, get a green marker dot. So it would be nice to either find eggs or a queen on one of these frames.
blue dotted cage, green dotted queen. There's a lot of bees on that frame.
That may actually be capped brood over here.
There's something over it. I think it's
There's some larvae.
So we know the queen's in here. Hopefully.
Lots of larvae. So the queen has been out more than one day. We picked the queen up on Saturday. She went in the hive, and today is Tuesday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I shouldn't be seeing, there she is.
Where?
This much capped or hatched larva in this late stage.
Yeah, I thought, there she is.
Right here. Little thing, lightly colored, looking for places to lay. And we are going to let her be about her business because this hive rather, is going to need a lot to make it through the winter. So we want to give them every chance possible to make it through the winter. To build up the bees they need, to bring in the nectar and pollen they need, just every aspect of it. Whatever you girls need, we want you to have it.
Because I will be very depressed if I lose my hive.
It's a pretty sad thing when you lose your first hive, but it is part of beekeeping. And your father's got a lot more hives we can make a split from if we need to.
Definitely.
Not this year, but in the spring, hopefully we'll have quite a few hives that have made it. All of them would be nice.
I'm hoping my hive makes it through so I can maybe switch it to a 8 frame.
All we need now is a brick.
Where did we put the brick? Is down there, remember? We dropped it the last time we checked.
Yeah, when we had the angry hive. We can finally put this up here, signifying that hive 2B is queen right.
I'm trying to see
This is Willowbrook Apiaries. Happy bees, healthy honey. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and turn on that notification bell so you can be updated for each new upload. Happy bees, healthy honey. God bless.